Nintendo's greedy pricing strategy is backfiring again, ladies and gentlemen, and this time they may have pissed off more than just gamers. You see, 2025 will be known as the year that gamers could no longer afford their favorite franchises, and it all started with Nintendo when they decided to raise the prices of their games, their older consoles, and their accessories. But today, a concerning picture is being painted by Nintendo's retail partners, one that quietly reveals their manipulation of the gaming industry in ways that very few people understand. So today we're going to dive deep to figure out what exactly is going on and why things might not be as good as Nintendo wants you to believe. But first, what's going on, guys? Cheers. Now, real quick, I just want to thank everybody who's been using the new hype feature. You guys recently got one of my videos to number 47 in the entire United States, which is just mind-blowing. So thank you. So today's story actually starts about a week ago when Nintendo revealed the sales numbers from their most recent quarter. I actually covered this in one of my most recent videos, talking about how well the Nintendo Switch 2 is apparently selling, but specific sales data for one game in particular was actually a bit of a red flag for me, and that was none other than Donkey Kong Bananza, because as you can see here, Nintendo's official investor relations website reveals that they shipped 3.49 million units of Donkey Kong Bananza, but if you dive a little bit deeper into their presentation, they reveal that Donkey Kong Bananza actually only sold 2.6 million units in its first 12 weeks. Now, this actually confused a lot of people. Everyone was going around saying, oh my god, Donkey Kong Bananza sold 3.5 million units, but that's just not true. Nintendo literally admits that that is not true. The sell-through rate of Donkey Kong Bananza was only 2.6 million. So this had me raising an eyebrow, right? Like, what about the other million units? They shipped another 1 million units worldwide, and they're just, what, are they on store shelves, or did they sell in October? Maybe like they sold another million in October. I don't know, maybe that's possible. But one thing is abundantly clear here: they shipped way more units of Donkey Kong Bananza than it actually sold, according to Nintendo themselves. Let me just be abundantly clear: Donkey Kong Bananza selling 2.6 million units is still incredibly successful. Okay, I don't want to see anybody in the comment section below saying, oh my god, Omniarch saying that the game didn't sell well. No, the game sold well, but it did not sell 3.5 million units, which begs the question, why would Nintendo rely on this data point alone? Well, the answer is to make the numbers look even better than they actually are. So what actually happens to those nearly 1 million extra units that have already been shipped to the retailers? Well, retailers will do anything that they can to move these units, and this is where we have to talk about Amazon as a major retailer partner for Nintendo, and in particular we have to talk about Woot.com. Now, if you guys don't know Woot.com, this is a subsidiary of Amazon. As you can see, it's literally in their logo. They were acquired by Amazon in 2010, and they are best known for a sales strategy called Deal of the Day. This is effectively a flash sale or fire sale of a particular product, and this is why people use Woot. They come to this website every single day to see if they could get a really good deal on a quality product. So what does this have to do with Nintendo? Well, as of today, Donkey Kong Bananza, amongst other games that we're going to talk about in just a minute, is already on sale for $61.99. This is one of the flagship releases for the brand new Switch 2 console, and here we can see the game is already on sale before we even hit Black Friday and Cyber Monday. It's very clear that this is not a price drop for the holidays because it is on Woot.com. So let me explain to you guys how exactly Amazon uses Woot, right? Because to the uninformed, you may just see this and say, oh, the game's just on sale, who cares? But that's actually not why Amazon acquired Woot in the first place. They don't need another entire platform just to put a game on sale. No, that is not the strategy that Amazon takes here. Amazon uses Woot.com for two reasons. First of all, Woot as a platform is a way for Amazon to test flash sales on certain products to see how well it actually performs. And two, Woot is a platform that Amazon uses to manage their overstock inventory and effectively liquidate it. And you guys do not have to take my word for it. There's literally evidence. Amazon using Woot as part of its inventory liquidation strategy was reported on all the way back in 2020. We can see here Kent Stewart says, and I quote, "The relationship is very symbiotic with Amazon in a lot of ways. We help them with getting through an oversupply of product, for example, but unless we ask, they trust us and leave us alone to run the business." So then you might be asking, okay, well, who is Kent Stewart? He is literally the CEO of Woot.com. So you have the CEO quoted saying that they help Amazon Amazon get through an oversupply of product. So this is not my speculation. This is literally how Amazon uses Woot.com. And if we go a little bit further, back when Amazon acquired Woot.com in 2010, articles pointed to the very fact that Amazon.com has acquired online discount retailer Woot.com, a website that acquires inventory opportunistically from manufacturers and sells it online and offline. Another article back from the acquisition goes on to say that Woot is able to offer these items at substantial discounts thanks to an extensive back-end sales and distribution network that provides constant access to closeout items offered by manufacturers and other retailers. So what does this have to do with Nintendo and Donkey Kong Bonanza? Well, clearly either one of two things is happening. One, Nintendo offered a bunch of units of Donkey Kong Bonanza to Amazon at a steep discount to manipulate the 3.49 million units shipped number, or, and this is what I think most likely happened, is that Amazon simply found themselves with way more inventory of games like Donkey Kong Bonanza than they know what to do with, and they're using their subsidiary Woot.com to quietly liquidate this inventory without it making headlines being discounted by Amazon themselves. But the thing is, it doesn't actually end with Donkey Kong Bonanza. Now, as you guys can see, this deal is already sold out. It was available in the United States and possibly other countries as well, but more Switch 2 games are on sale through Woot as well. Here you can see Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 edition plus Star-Crossed World is on sale from $80 down to $70. What's the matter, Nintendo? I thought people wanted $80 games. And just to be clear, these games are still selling really well. I mean, again, Donkey Kong Bonanza sold 2.6 million units in its first 3 months. That's a success story, right? But now that we understand how Amazon uses Woot.com as a way to liquidate overstocked inventory, it's clear that either Nintendo or Amazon themselves thought that they would actually be selling more of these units. So it's possibly the case that this isn't actually a demand issue, but more so a supply issue. Like, sure, people are buying Donkey Kong Bonanza, but they have way more supply than they know what to do with, and it goes beyond Kirby as well. We see Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition down from $80 to $70. So once again, we see the pricing strategy for the Switch 2 is backfiring once again. We've reported on this multiple times on the channel, but when they announced the Switch 2 and they said that some games would be $80, there was a ton of backlash from the community saying that, like, look, these games should not be $80, right? That's what everyone was saying. And even people who like the Switch 2 were saying things like, look, you know, $80 is pretty steep for a video game in 2025 when consumers are already super price sensitive. But games weren't the only thing that Nintendo tried to raise the price on. They also tried to raise the price on the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons. And here we can see on Woot.com, once again, Nintendo tries to sell them for $100 and Woot is selling them for $90. So what does this mean? Well, does this mean that the Joy-Cons are selling poorly? Not necessarily. What it could mean is that Nintendo or Amazon had the idea that it would sell even more, and it left Amazon with all of this inventory that they're trying to get rid of. Now, I know what you're saying. Look, Omniarch, this is just Amazon. Maybe they ordered too much from Nintendo and they're just trying to get rid of it. It's really just one point on the graph, right? Actually, no, there is one other big retailer that is also putting Nintendo accessories on discount today, and this does point to an interesting trend. Now, one of the biggest announcements recently was the fact that Nintendo was actually going ahead and releasing an update for the latest Animal Crossing game. You see, this recent Animal Crossing update is the biggest update that they've released since sometime in 2021. Like, it has been years since Nintendo paid Animal Crossing New Horizons any love, and in fact, it was even such a big deal that they went out of their way to make an Animal Crossing New Horizons Switch 2 edition for $64.99. You can actually pre-order this right now, but my point is that this was one of the biggest things to happen to this Animal Crossing game in a while, and Nintendo actually tied some of their latest Amiibo to the release of this new update. As you can see here, this was posted a couple of days ago. Nintendo reveals which specific Splatoon and Zelda Amiibo unlock the Animal Crossing update's new villagers. Trust me, there's a point to all of this. I'll get to it in just a second, but the article goes on to say Nintendo has listed which specific Zelda and Splatoon Amiibo unlock each of the new 4 themed villagers coming to Animal Crossing New Horizons major update. And as you can see, there is a tie-in here between Animal Crossing Crossing and The Legend of Zelda. We have Tulin and Mineru. Now naturally, one of the amiibo that you can use to unlock Tulin in Animal Crossing is actually the Tulin amiibo themselves from Tears of the Kingdom. Now we don't have an amiibo for Mineru, although some people are suggesting that we are getting one. I don't know if that was leaked or confirmed or if it's just speculation. You guys can let me know in the comments if you know specifically, but one thing that we do know is that some amiibo are getting big discounts from the retailer Best Buy. Now as you guys know, a few months ago we reported on a massive like 70 or 80% discount on tons of amiibo over at GameStop, and here we can see Best Buy is following in their footsteps. The Tulin amiibo, which is directly related to Tears of the Kingdom, and by the way, Zelda just had a spin-off game release with Hyrule Warriors, so Zelda is very prominent in the gaming industry at this exact moment, and this amiibo is relevant to the big Animal Crossing update, and yet we can see that Best Buy has it for 33% off. Normally it's $30 and they're selling it for $20, and this is once again another point on the graph that exposes the fact that Nintendo's price increases are backfiring. I mean, if this thing was flying off the shelves, do you really think that they would have a 33% discount, especially when this is one of the newest amiibos to come out? This isn't like one that's been on the shelves since, you know, 2017. This amiibo is highly relevant in some of Nintendo's most recent games and updates, including Animal Crossing. And it's not just this. We see the Yunobo amiibo has the same discount as well. We see Riju has a discount, and we see that Sidon has a discount as well. Now I may have mispronounced his name, I do apologize, but it actually goes a little bit deeper than that, folks. If we return our attention back to Amazon, and this time the actual Amazon platform, we can see that despite the latest massive update for Animal Crossing New Horizons, the game is actually on sale right now. So again, we return to this situation where it's like, okay, you release the biggest update since 2021 for Animal Crossing, and if this thing was flying off the shelves as a result of that, why is it discounted at Amazon already? And it goes even farther than that. Remember when Nintendo tried to raise their prices of the older Switch consoles and they made the Switch Lite $230? Well, Amazon is having to sell this thing for $188 because everyone knows that the Switch Lite is not worth $230. Nintendo tried to raise the price on this thing. It's an older console. The Switch 2 is already out. So retailers have all this inventory of stuff and Nintendo's telling them to raise the prices. It makes no sense at all. But actually, let's take a look at Pokemon Legends EA. The European version of this game is on sale right now on Amazon, 8% off. It's $54.90. All the Pokemon fanboys swear by this game, saying it's one of the best Pokemon games that they've ever played. So Pokemon is supposed to be hot right now. Why are they having to discount this thing just to move units? Oh, that's right, they're actually discounting tons of Pokemon stuff. Here you can see the Funko Pop for Charizard is 50% off. You could see the same thing is true for Charmander. We see a 20% discount on Bulbasaur. We see a 20% discount on Ceruledge. We see a 17% discount on the mini 4-pack featuring Jolteon, and a 17% discount on the 4-pack featuring Squirtle. And again, I want to be very clear, it's November 10th. They couldn't even wait for Black Friday or Cyber Monday to put these deals in place. Between these discounts and them trying to get rid of as many copies of Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom as they can, it seems like Amazon is scrambling to get rid of their overstock, and they can't wait until Black Friday or Cyber Monday. They want to get this stuff moving right now. And the Pokemon fanboys will have you believe that Pokemon is having a moment right now. It's like super popular and everyone's loving it. Meanwhile, at least for the UK version, they're forced to discount it to sell for the Switch 1, and they're selling all of this Pokemon merchandise at a discount as well. Even Pikachu is 17% off, the mascot of the highest grossing media franchise in the world right now, and Pokemon's having a moment. Pokemon's on fire at this very moment in time. Really, even the Squirtle squad is on discount. Now this Funko Pop liquidation sale is actually a twofold problem, because not only are we seeing them have to discount Pokemon Legends EA over in Europe, but also Funko itself is apparently not doing well. This was reported over on Kotaku. Funko Pop is $241 million in debt as it issues dire warning. The collectibles company is crashing out. Last week, the Funko Pop company hit investors with a dramatic disclosure. Quote, "There is substantial doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern for the next 12 months. It revealed in its latest quarterly earnings report. This is the company warning that it's at increasing risk of defaulting on its loans. How much is that? Roughly $241 million. I don't think the banks will accept payment in the form of one-piece Funko Pops." The company revealed that it amended its credit agreement with JP Morgan Chase Bank bank back in July in an effort to waive certain requirements and buy time in order to refinance its debt under more manageable terms. That sounds reasonable, and the company is certainly spinning this situation as business as usual, but it's also saying in no uncertain terms that there is a decent chance it won't be able to pay out everyone it owes by the end of the next 12 months unless something big changes. The article goes on to say the numbers are bad. Funko Pop lost $1 million last quarter, a harsh drop from the over $8 million in profit it made a year ago. Why is the collectible company tumbling off a cliff? You might think it has something to do with losing certain big licenses to competitors or flooding the market with way more junk than even the most diehard fans are willing to absorb, but the biggest kiss of death came back in the spring in the form of President Trump's trade war. Tariffs hit sales of cheap toys manufactured overseas hard. So Funko Pop looks like they might be in a little bit of trouble, ladies and gentlemen, and yet here we see Amazon is fire selling some of what you might expect to be the best selling Funko Pop figures, right? I mean, it's Pokemon. Surely everyone's gonna buy all the Pokemon stuff because right now it's super popular, right, with Legends EA? I don't know, folks. I think there's a little bit of manipulation going on here, and between Amazon, Best Buy, and the Amazon subsidiary Woot, I'm starting to think that Nintendo has pushed tons of inventory onto these retailers so that way they can make their investor relations information look really good. And the crazy part is that it actually worked. When this quarterly financial information came out, everyone was going around saying, oh my god, Donkey Kong Bananza sold 3.5 million, even though like they literally said it didn't. I'm not even spinning the numbers. Nintendo said it didn't. They said it sold 2.6. It's still a massive success, but it's off by 1 million units, 900,000 to be specific, okay? And if they're going to be spinning the Donkey Kong numbers that hard, how hard are they spinning the Nintendo Switch 2 sales numbers, right? Everyone went around saying, oh, it sold 10.36 million units, and it's like, maybe it did by now, right? I mean, I've said multiple times on this channel that the Switch 2 has sold incredibly well. Everyone paints me as this negative Nintendo grifter when I have been very consistent with my message about the Switch 2 sales. You can even go back and look at my videos before the Switch 2 came out, and I said that this thing was going to sell super well. And down below, I will still get the troglodytes saying, oh, why isn't he talking about the Switch 2 sales numbers? It's like, buddy, I've talked about Switch 2 sales numbers like every other week, and if you actually watched the videos, you would know that I'm saying the Switch 2 sells well, but that doesn't erase the fact that the 10.36 million units that they reported over on Nintendo's website is units that they shipped to retailers. Is it an impressive number? Absolutely. Do we know exactly how many Switch units actually were purchased by customers? No, we do not know that number. So all I'm saying here is that Donkey Kong Bananza, very successful. Switch 2, very successful, but clearly there's some manipulation going on with the numbers when the headline says 3.5 million, but the fine print says actually it's 2.6. It just makes me raise an eyebrow. That's all. How many Switch 2 units were actually bought by customers? I would love to know that number. It's probably still really good, right? It is still probably really good, but now that we see big retailers trying everything that they can to move some of the units of the software and of the accessories, I don't know, it just makes me wonder what other manipulation is going on behind the scenes when it comes to shipping units to retailers and their pricing strategy that obviously is, well, to be honest, we've seen multiple instances now of retailers having to address this pricing strategy in what could be considered a reality check for Nintendo. And just to really hammer my point home, all of the price drops that we've covered by these big retailers in this video so far is not part of a Black Friday deal. This is a Black Friday deal. This was actually announced, I believe, today from Nintendo themselves. They said from now through November 29th, find deals starting at $29.99 MSRP on the following Switch games at participating retailers. So it looks like Nintendo actually is participating directly with their retailers when it comes to what is on sale for Black Friday. Now, I'm sure the retailers get the final say. They decide what the prices are, but it looks like this is going to be in coordination with lots of different retailers. We see Nintendo Switch Sports, Super Mario Odyssey, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, Splatoon 3, Princess Peach Showtime, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Luigi's Mansion 3, and Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, all of which are Switch 1 games on sale for $30. Now, there are some heavy hitters here that are definitely worth picking up if you can get a really good deal on them. Like if you've never played Mario Odyssey, this is a great time to get your hands on it. Furthermore, for Cyber Monday, they announced that there's a $20 discount on the following micro SD express card for the Nintendo Switch 2 system when you shop at participating retailers. All of this was revealed in an article by Business Wire that says Nintendo is offering new promotions, game discounts, and in-store events to help make holiday gatherings more memorable. Plus, visit the official Nintendo San Francisco and Nintendo New York stores for holiday fun starting mid-November, and enjoy festive decor, gift with purchase offers while supplies last, and an all-new exclusive winter collection. This new line of merchandise includes cozy attire, accessories, and more that have a distinct Nintendo feel with Nintendo characters and designs. I live in New York City. Okay, I've been to the Nintendo New York store. It's nice going in, right? I like the store. I usually stop in whenever I'm in the area, which typically isn't very often. I mean, usually if you live in New York, you're not going to like Rockefeller Center very often, at least not the real New Yorkers. Okay, we try to stay as far away from that place as possible, but when I am in the area, I do pop into the Nintendo store just to see. And honestly, over the last couple of years, I feel like the store is just a lot more boring than it used to be. Like the merchandise is more boring. The upstairs has way less Pokemon stuff. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like what it used to be. So when they say that there's going to be, you know, festive decor, I mean, the last time they said there was special decor, it was for Donkey Kong Bananza, and it was just like a cardboard cutout, like a big pop-up thing. It's like, I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. Like this article makes it sound like they're completely revamping the store to make it look like a winter wonderland. It's like, it's just going to be a couple of posters on the windows. You know what I mean? But anyway, holiday offers are available at select retailers, the Nintendo stores, as well as online on the My Nintendo store, Nintendo eShop. So let me be clear, all this stuff, fantastic, right? If you want to get some of these games, this is a great time. Wait for this discount to kick in, right? Of note, the Switch 2 stuff is not on sale, okay? Which is another point on the graph when I talk about, you know, the stuff that we mentioned in this video with woot.com. That's clearly not part of Black Friday. All their Black Friday stuff is on Switch 1 things, at least from what we know so far. But the article goes on to say that all of these games being $30 is going to start November 23rd at select retailers. Now, this last Nintendo topic that I want to cover here is one that doesn't warrant its own entire video, but it is something that I wanted to just touch on here, and that is the fact that it looks like Pillsbury leaked some official artwork and possibly the plot line of the Mario Galaxy movie. Here you can see that Pillsbury's ready to bake pre-cut sugar cookies are in the shape of a Yoshi egg, which I honestly think that's adorable, and everybody knows that these sugar cookies are addicting. You might bite into it and think, oh, it's average, and the next thing you know, you've downed 6 or 7 of them. Okay, we've all been there. Let's just be honest with ourselves. All right, but anyway, here we can see Yoshi confirmed. Okay, Yoshi's literally on the top of the box right here, and his massive face is right there, but the back of the box reveals a couple of things that are actually shocking and extremely startling. The number one being that 2 of these cookies is 100 calories and 16 grams of sugar with not a gram of protein in sight. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know what to say. You're telling me every time I've eaten 8 of these cookies, I've downed 400 calories? Jesus Christ. Okay, but in all seriousness though, the back of the box does actually reveal something that Nintendo probably didn't want revealed. Maybe, possibly. It says, help Mario and Yoshi trace the shortest path to visit every planet and soar across the galaxy. And here we can see what are probably going to be some key locations in the movie, right? Some different planets, and obviously part of the plot of the movie is going to be flying to multiple planets and soaring across the galaxy, as you might expect from the name of the literal movie. But I just find it hilarious that earlier in the year, the Mario Galaxy movie was leaked by literally Old Spice, and now we're seeing potential plot points or at least locations in the movie being leaked by Pillsbury. Like, what is even happening? Like, this is insane. I think they're trying to tell you gamers something, okay? They probably want you to put on some more deodorant so that way you can smell like the scent of smashed fruit Brooklyn Bounce. I'm gonna be real with you, okay? Brooklyn does not smell like smashed fruits. Very far from it. Anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, consider dropping a thumbs up down below. Really helps out the channel a ton, and you might think that you're subscribed, but you're actually not. Just double check.